Hey guys, it's Sean Bucci, surplusfundsriches.net. I'm seeing some folks starting to come in. If you guys could do me two favors, I'm excited to have you here tonight because we're going to be talking also, taking all questions on the new Stealth Surplus Funds program, which could very well be the best program we've ever launched, ever. That'll launch January 1st, 2025 for one day only for $397. Two things, guys. Please use chat. Do not use the Q&A. I know it's a Q&A webinar. Please use the chat section if you would. We'll also have some files up here that you can download shortly. And let me just check something real quick. All right, chat's enabled. If one of you guys can let me know you can hear and see me okay, that would be great. Oh, Rochelle says already, see ya. And guys, we've been launching a couple of different follow-up videos because we've had a lot of questions about the new Stealth Surplus Funds program. So I'm going to answer some of that right up front and then open it up, any questions you guys have. Newcomers, folks that have a program, obviously you want to use the email-based support whenever you can and not have to wait for these webinars. But obviously you can ask those questions too. I may lead you back to support if it's something that Jeff can handle or if it's better than I can. He handles the front line more than I do. Wow, a lot of people. Wow. Rochelle, see you. Cheryl Williams. Hi, guys. Looks and sounds good. Philippe, good evening. Mark, see and hear you fine. Jennifer, I hear you. Philippe, yes. Jim, 5x5. Aretha, see you. Carol, hi, Sean. Eugene, yes. Oh, this is great. Doug, 5x5. Kaya, got a lot of X-Mill in here, obviously. Kaya, I can see and hear you. Eric says, see ya. Daryl, good to go. And Benjamin says, good evening. Hey, Benjamin. I had some good news for you recently. I will be doing a deals board coming up this week. We're going to be off, guys, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I have to look here really quick. Let me look at the calendar for a second. They will also be off New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, the crew, trying to give them some time off. I also want to make them, just want to make sure that overwork themselves, and I like to have them use PTO as much as possible. But we've got it covered, but we definitely take some time off this time of year, around Christmas and New Year's. All right, so Jeff says, I made it. Bill, loud and clear, and Teddy, is the new program tax or mortgage? Thanks. Okay, let me back up and cover the new program. The Stealth Surplus Funds program, both tax and mortgage overages, and it's designed, I need you to listen to me carefully because I've been getting a lot of calls asking questions and it's still not going through their head what I'm saying. You're going after surplus funds before they're created, before there's even an auction. It took us years to figure this out, but we have figured out how you can target properties that are going to create surplus. We've come up with the right percentages based on values online. We've come up with everything perfect, the timing for when to call them. And we partner, we'll do a lot of those for you. Took years to figure it out, but we've come up with the perfect way to come after them and how to lock them down. So you're going after, or if you want to just be a researcher with us on this, you can partner with us on it. Going after property before the foreclosure hits, no kidding. Being able to target and figure out which ones are going to create surplus and have a good approximation of how much. And then we will contact them and using a proprietary deed, no kidding, and get them to sign a quitclaim deed, and a regular contract. We can get them under contract prior to the sale, record that deed, and now we are the owners at the time of the sale, which means we're going to be claiming it in our name. Of course, if you're doing it on your own, you can claim it in your own name. There's more to it than that, obviously. It's different scripts. It's a different approach. We do give the money right after the foreclosure. We give them a little bit. Obviously, we'll do this for you if you partner with us. A little bit of money right after the foreclosure once we see that it's sold. It didn't get canceled. It's sold, and it created a surplus. We're going to get money at that point, and then more money. Very similar to the National Surplus program as far as money now and the rest of it later. The beauty of this too, guys, especially if you do it on your own, you don't even need an attorney for their trust account anymore. Certain states require you have an attorney to motion for the surplus funds. But as far as having an attorney just to have a trust account, you're not going to need that because you're claiming in your name. Completely different animal. I know it sounds semi-crazy, but we have done it before, and it does work. So I'm excited about it. I do think it's the future, especially in certain markets out there, the future of going after that. Of surplus funds in particular. It's both tax and mortgage, doesn't matter which one, and we can go after anything. Here's the other thing. People are still in the house. It's a little easier to find them, a little easier to talk to them, and they're a little more receptive. I'll be sending them money right after the foreclosure, so they're still in the house, but they haven't moved yet. They can use the I'm going to call it a grant, the grant amount to move out and get on with their life while they're waiting. Also, the claim should be faster because obviously we're not going to be trying to get a hold of them after the foreclosure when they're living in their car or they've changed their cell phone number. We're doing it before that's happened. So that helps a lot. All right. Ray David, is this the correct form to ask you questions? It absolutely is. I mean, Roy David. Yes, Roy, please ask. Namu, greetings. Thank you. Annie, hello from Virginia. Peter. Hey, Sean, Peter, glad to be here. I remember talking to you earlier or going back and forth with you. I think you're coming on with your wife. Rachel, question about the new program. Will we only be working the same states as the panning, or will we be able to work more states? It has nothing to do with the panning program, Rachel. We don't have the limitation on that. No. Although, I mean, panning, you can work 22 states, so there's really not a limit on panning as far as I'm concerned. But no, it's tax and mortgage, and it's pre-sale. Daryl, this is a game changer. You're darn right it is, Daryl. And I wish we hadn't had a different program that we called that. Called the game changer, because this is more of a game changer. Thanks for the opportunity. You're very welcome, Daryl. Deb, these are not assignments like there used to be many years ago. No, Deb, we never used assignments. We used a structured buyout agreement, and we have them sign a power of attorney to our attorney. We always use attorneys. Obviously not going to need to do this with this program, simply because it's going to be in our name prior to the sales date. And as a result, it's going to be easy for us to claim it if we don't need an attorney to motion for the funds in our own name. Have you set up an upper limit on the home value, the debt to value ratio, and the minimum estimated surplus you'll go after? Thanks, guys. So Cheryl, there's going to be no upper limit on home value. Okay, we're going after surplus. We're not trying to flip a property, and we did that in the flips for good reason. Obviously, there's going to be a debt to value ratio. It's not really a ratio. It has to leave money left after the surplus. And what we have found is if the estimate method we use shows 50 in surplus, it's probably going to be closer to 30 or 35. So don't be thrown by that. Oh my God, a minimum. No. We're using tight estimates, but we're looking at the surplus funds amount that we're going after. We're not looking at a ratio per se. You're looking at debt and probable sales price. Benjamin, I love good news. I do too, man. Hasha. Wow, a lot of questions. This is great. I love the interaction, guys. Hasha. Hi, Sean. Is the sales program good for all states? You're not going to be able to work in North Carolina if you're partnering with us, or Colorado. Jeff, if you can jump on here. Jeff, are these people receiving a ton of investors or people trying to work with them prior to them going into foreclosure? So, Jeff, when people are going into foreclosure, there are certain people, us included, that have been going after them as flips. Let me tell you what the difference is. And I am so glad you asked this question. So let me tell you why this is so powerful. It's ridiculously powerful, okay? When we flip property, we're going after pre-sale, primarily tax, but also mortgage, trying to put a deal together, get them to send us the deed over so we can record it. Then we pay off the debt, whatever mortgage or tax against it to stop the sale. We're getting the property as is, where is, and we're flipping it as is, where is. And as a result of that, the problem is those guys always wait till the last minute because they think their brother's going to step up with a check. They think they're going to hit the scratch off in the convenience store. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, but they're not, right? Obviously. So they always call me like 2 days before, and I can't, with the flip system, I can't get it done because I not only have to get the deed from them and record it, because I'm not going to pay off taxes or whatever on a property I don't own. That would be stupid, right? Stop the sale. So I'm going to record that deed first. And by the way, people will sign whatever you put in front of them. We're very transparent, don't get me wrong, but they'll sign whatever to get what they need. So they're going to, they wait till the last minute with our flipping program. And a lot of times I'm out of time. With this, I won't be, because all I need to do is get that deed back and get it recorded really quickly. 48 hours, I get it done. I don't care about paying off the debt to stop the sale. And I'm obviously not telling them I am. And we're going to tell them, hey, look, what we're shooting for here is an overbid. We're going to give you X amount of dollars when the foreclosure hits, if it sells for more. And we're using the term overbid, which one of the states uses, and that helps with your script. But anyway, getting them under contract that way with the contract and the deed recording that immediately, and then as soon as we can see that it actually foreclosed, transferred hands, we can get rolling on the retrieval, and we'll give them some money up front and more later. Here we go. Sorry. You're right, Jeff. I forgot that. So you can't work with this program, North Carolina, Colorado, and Florida mortgage. And I'll tell you why Florida mortgage, okay? You can work Florida tax, upcoming tax foreclosures, but Florida mortgage is because even if I get it transferred into my name prior to the auction, it's not the last deed holder in Florida. It's the deed holder when the bank, in a mortgage foreclosure, when the bank started the process. So I wouldn't be getting the ownership at all, even recording that quitclaim deed. So that's why we can't work Florida mortgage. North Carolina is not good because we have to pay off taxes when we record the deed. That's a state statute. And so we don't have an option, right? Here we are. Sorry, guys. Jeff called me and told me it froze. Hey, Jeff, I'll get back to you. Jeff called me and told me it froze, and I hit the panic button. Sorry about that. Somebody can let me know you can see me again. I'm going to also start answering these questions. I'm behind, guys. So I'm gonna go kind of quick right now. Bill, can we do stealth in Florida? Absolutely, on the tax side, pre-tax foreclosure properties. Cindy, if partner on this, which name does it go in? Concerned about having to create multiple foreign. If you're partnering, we're getting it, Cindy. I'm not getting this property in your name. There's no way I would do that. We don't know one another, right? So I'm going to get it out in that name, and I can pay you as an individual, or I could, it's 30% of net. That's a hell of a whack. And you don't have to find them, call them, mail them, put the deal together, hire a mobile notary or an attorney if necessary. None of that. We do it all. And I can pay an individual or a company. It doesn't matter. Of course, they'll 1099 you if you're an individual at the end of the year. Rochelle, doggies are screaming. I know, they're freaking out. Sorry, I was hoping you couldn't hear that with the condenser mic. Gilberto, are there any marketing expenses for us? No, not if you're going to partner with us. Now, if you're going to do it on your own, I mean, you got to mail, you got to call, obviously you're going to have to skip trace to find these people. There's a lot of different things, but if we're doing it, we handle all that for you. We do data entry, we skip trace them, find them, people finder systems we have. Find them, mail them, call them, put the deal together, hire the mobile notary, the attorney if we need it. We do all that. Next one. Sorry, guys. Yvette, are things opening up in the state of Oregon now? I believe that's already open, Yvette. All right, Jeff. Yeah, you're right. John Black, can we use the voucher on new stealth program? If so, is there anything I need to know to use it? Just honestly, John, open up the book, go to where it is. It'll tell you how to use it as long as it hasn't expired. I think they expired in either a year or two. Look on there. It'll tell you that. And of course, you'll know the date that you bought it. But it'll tell you exactly how to turn it into us. Hasha, thanks, Jeff. Roy David, good to know. Ivina, man, we're getting some fantastic interaction here. Sorry, guys, I had to hit the panic button there. Ivina, if the sale ends up being canceled, what happens to the deed you recorded? Well, if it's canceled, you still own it. You recorded a deed, right? Quitclaim deed. However, if it gets canceled, the way I would handle it, that's a great question. Very insightful question. I would ask the person I was dealing with what happened there. Now, if they forestalled the foreclosure, if the bank made a deal with them, then in that case, what would you do? Well, in that case, I would, if they said, hey, I'm out of trouble now, I would quitclaim it back to them. I'm not going to say, sorry, good for you if you avoided sidestep foreclosure, right? Now, if it's been put off by the county, I'd probably let it roll. And tell the owner what I was doing because they're not going to play. They're eventually going to foreclose on them in probably another month. So there's no sense in, doing anything unless they're going to redeem it. If they redeem it, in other words, pay off whatever's past due in order to bring it up to speed and stop the foreclosure, we're good. How does the program work, RJ? I kind of went into that real quick. Stealth, targeting property that's going to create surplus funds. We teach you how to do that. Double check the debt, make sure there's not too much debt that would eat into all that surplus funds. We contact the owner or you. We'll do it if you partner with us. Get them to sign a specialty deed over to us along with our contract. We record that deed. When it hits, when the foreclosure hits and it creates a surplus, we give them an initial grant amount that's in there. That's up to you guys what you want to give people, $1,500, $5,000, whatever. Okay. And then we'll give them more when we actually retrieve the surplus. The beauty is it's in our name because we recorded that deed prior to the foreclosure. We're the last deed holder prior to the sale. And it's a fantastic way to work. It's very clean. And we're very transparent. The scripts are very transparent on what we're doing. And I went into it earlier. It's going to work extremely well because when we're doing flips, we were getting calls too late in the game before the foreclosure. Not enough time to record the deed, which I was doing there too, and then turn around and pay off whatever it was, taxes or mortgage, to stop the foreclosure and then flipping it. Well, with this, I only need about 2 days. And everybody puts it off till 3-4 days before the foreclosure. And then they realize I didn't hit the scratch off. My brother isn't saving me. The bank isn't backing down. The county isn't backing down. And that's when they're ready to do a deal with us. And it's a fair deal. A lot of people saying it's frozen. I realize that, guys, those are old. Will you show us how to get the leads? How does a partnership work? Okay, kind of went into that, Annie. As far as getting leads, you're looking at pre-foreclosure properties during a certain time period. I don't have that on me. It's typically, I believe, within 2 to 6 weeks, something like that, because that's the best time to reach the people for that type of thing. But getting leads, you're just looking at properties coming up for tax or mortgage foreclosure. And yes, of course, we teach you how to do that. Cheryl, webinar locked up. Yeah, I know this. A lot of comments on that, and then now I'm back. There you are. We can see you. You're back. I can see you. Good. All right, Ivina, if the sale ends up being, okay, she asked the same one. Christopher, sorry, I was a couple minutes late and I missed the intro. Would you mind giving a quick rundown of stealth again? Getting the people under contract before the foreclosure hits, targeting the right property that's going to actually create surplus funds, recording a specialty deed, and keep getting a contract as well. Now we're the last owners prior to the sale. We're claiming it in our own name. We have a grant. We have it set up as kind of a grant system. Sorry for the dogs in the background. As a grant system, so we're going to give them some money at that point, and then more when we get the surplus funds out. But it's in our name at this point, so we don't have to worry about people ghosting us, people living in their car, losing their cell phone, whatever. We're going to be able to get a hold of them because we're doing it before the sale hits. Is there a limit on how many files we can turn in if we partner? 100 a month, Rachel? More than you're going to do. That's a lot. Kaya, when I become a member, will I have to pay for a packet? Kaya, you buy the program. I don't know what a packet would be. You buy the program. That's the training, and it has built-in partnership. Philippe, will this program cut down on receiving the surplus funds? Cut down on receiving. I have no idea what you mean. You were answering the tax question on who pays owed taxes, and it froze. Okay, Valissa. Taxes against the property do not count as personal debt against the new owner. They're on that property. But tax debt, unpaid taxes, that doesn't become it's not going to show up on a credit score, okay? And nobody's going to come after you for that. They'll foreclose on the property to take the money, and we're recording that deed and then going after the surplus later. The surplus is going to be created when it sells for more money than the taxes are owed. But no, this does not put you in debt for anything. The property has debt against it, not you personally. Sorry about that, Doug. I hope you're still with me and you got that answer. Tim, trouble again. Eric, freezing again. No worries. I'll be back up. He'll be back up soon. What's the difference between this program and the Bob Diamond program, Eugene? So Diamond is an attorney, and he teaches not to use an attorney. We teach to always use an attorney. You won't need to do that with this new stealth program, but with the other ones, we always said to use an attorney. And he said to use assignments, which is limited on how many states you can use. I have no problem with Bob Diamond, but he bought that program from a guy named Rick Dawson and then repackaged it years ago. Not being derogatory, that's just what he did. He's a good marketer. He believes in using assignments or being a licensed finder. I believe in using a structured buyout and always using attorneys. Therefore, none of the regulations apply to me. And this new program actually goes beyond that. It's phenomenal. So there's a big difference, Eugene, between us. Okay, I got some Q&As here. Guys, please don't use Q&A. I'm going to answer these real quick. I responded, Roy, to that question that you just gave me on the Q&A section. If you can afford it, I would certainly get the biggest bundle you can because it's worth it. You can come back and get most of the programs on their own. You're not going to be able to buy hidden surplus funds or 50/50. Well, 50/50 is in a special bundle this sale, but you won't be able to get 50/50 or panning for hidden surplus funds anywhere but the platinum later. So you can't come later and get those. That's the only way to get that program. To get those particular programs. There's other ones in there that you can get separately usually on a past buyer loyalty discount, but it's still going to cost you a minimum of about $350 when you can get all 20 of these for $19.97. So if you can afford that, get it. But I always tell people don't spend more than you want to or than you're comfortable with. Hello, Sean. I came in a few minutes late. I hope this doesn't duplicate. Could you compare contrast the deed flip concept and strategy with this new special contract? Does this replace the deed flips? It does not replace the deed flips. We're going after surplus funds, not value in the property. So no, it's a surplus funds play. We're just getting them under contract prior to the sale. Are there any marketing to sorry, I answered that. Freezing up, sorry. Hello, Sean and Jeff. This sounds awesome. There we go, Stephen. Thank you. You mentioned faster turnaround. Are you able to provide a timetable such as a 90 to 180 days of when we submit the paperwork to you? So yeah, actually, let's say I'd say we're about 2.5 months out, maybe even 2 from when you submit. No kidding. In most areas, because there's still weird counties that take forever regardless. Do you make state level guidance on where this may work or not, considering the employ other buy-sell options than just no sale to bank or above minimum, i.e. sheriff sales? Do you make state level guidance? There's no need, John. We're going after property pre-tax sale, and this is going to work in all the states except for Colorado, Florida mortgage. You can work Florida tax, and North Carolina. Does Stealth program also go after HOA foreclosures? It does. HOA, mortgage, or tax. Could you also have them quit claim any interest after the foreclosure? No, because it's the owner at the time of the sale, James. It's the owner at the time of the sale that is the claimant, the person that's entitled. So we've got to have that recorded prior to the sale in order to get it on our own name. National Surplus and Premier 16 and Panning for Hidden, we teach those programs. You're going in with a contract and an attorney. With this, you're recording that deed because now that'll make you the claimant after the sale is final. New program. Can I just do the initial contact and get the smaller fee and you guys do the harder work? So the new program, Stealth, Chris, all you're doing is researching debt against the property, getting an idea of what the value of it is, turning out a worksheet. We contact them. We do all that. How does Stealth allow you to get the money out of the courts quicker, or does it, Jim? So first of all, we're going to be claiming under our own name so we can reach out to the attorney. We're going to literally have the attorney, or if we're working directly, we're going to have all that stuff on hand. We've worked pretty much every state, so we know what we're going to turn in. Some of them, the counties actually have to prepare a claim form for you, but that's rare. The other thing is, look, typically it's going to take us a month to a month and a half just to find the people if we're doing this after the foreclosure. And at that point, we can move very quickly, okay? But we still lose that month and a half because they've got to get multiple mailings and multiple calls in order to believe that what we're saying and to call us back. We also send what's called a takeaway letter and postcard at a certain point, and that makes the phone ring off the hook because we're telling them, hey, don't have the resources to continue to chase you. We've tried to reach you multiple times. Need you to get back in touch with us if you're serious. Otherwise, we're not going to chase you. Thanks. And we're going to see if maybe there's a creditor or somebody else we can work with instead of you. And that makes the phone go crazy. Even with that, though, that'll take a month and a half of constant calls and all that to get in touch with them and send up a mold notary and get the documents back. We're getting them under contract before the foreclosure. A lot easier to reach them. There's a little more, obviously, there's some urgency involved here. And as a result, we can get it out of the court quicker. We don't have the delay in reaching them. We don't have problems with people ghosting us if we need additional documentation because we're the claimant. We're not going to stall. Eugene, what's the average surplus per foreclosure? Right now, Eugene, I'm not kidding you. If you'd asked me this 6-8 years ago, I would have said 20, 25 grand. No kidding. It's about 60 right now. And that's across all programs. How easy or difficult is it to get research portion done? Therese, it's not hard. You're getting a list of upcoming foreclosures. You're taking that list and you're researching a couple of key things. Is there additional debt against that property? We teach you how to do that. We'll walk you through it. Okay. Is there additional debt? Also, what's the value? That's literally looking it up on Zillow or Redfin and taking a certain percentage of that amount because you've got to build in a slush there. People are not currently paying 100% of the value of property in a foreclosure. So you've got to know what percentage to use there. Will you provide a $500 payment to the researcher when the deal gets under contract like the national surplus? Yes, Richard. When we get the documents back, I've recorded the deed, and we know that surplus has been recorded, we'll give a bump, a $500 advance to the researcher at that point. Of course, we're going to let them know that we're putting it under contract. yes, we'll give them an advance at that point. Annette, are we going to need any special tools to use this program, such as PropStream or a caller ID program? So first of all, I mean, if you're doing it on your own, Annette, you're going to need that, right? But if you're partnering with us, we're calling. Now, you can use props. Some states aren't going to give you, for instance, mortgage foreclosures. You won't be able to get a list easily, so auction.com and that type of thing will help. But you don't have to work those states either. You can work states where you can get an easy list. Yeah, and most of those do cost a little bit of money. Okay. May I know your suggested wording for advertising business cards? You have one to avoid the finder role. Thanks. Your asset recovery. Jim, is that what you did on Old's case when he dropped off the earth? Yes, Jim, that's a great question. And by the way, finally, that one's coming in. That's a big one. That's like 180 grand. And it's any day now. So thank you. But yeah, we send them a takeaway. We do that. When people ghost us, we send a takeaway right out. Hey, you're not returning our calls. Don't know if you lost your phone, if you lost service. We're not going to be able to continue work with you, obviously, if we can't get a mobile notary out there or if we can't keep follow-up paperwork, and that tends to get them moving. Insistent aiding to find the property owners. And that, if you're doing it, so you can either partner with us on any of those programs, or you can do it on your own. If you do it on your own, you do that. If you're partnering with us, we find the people. What is the percent, unless it's Premier 16, in which case you'll have to skip trace them, call them, and mail them. Okay, that's you get 16% of the gross. That's a different program, guys. What is the percentage for people who want to partner, Melissa? So with National Surplus, well, with Stealth, I should stick to Stealth, right? Because it's $397 and that's our big blowout sale. Stealth, it's 30% of net. That's going to work out to probably somewhere around 12% of the gross. 50 grand, $6,000 to you. Big deal considering we're going to be paying, if it's 50 grand, I'm going to be paying 30 grand to the owner. And if I'm using an attorney, 3 to 5 grand to an attorney. So I'm giving you a great cut. National is 8% of the gross just to make it easier. Premier 16 is 16, but you got to call the people, find them and call them to make sure you have the right person and willing to speak to us. Stealth, you don't have to find or call them. It's 30% of net. That is strong, guys. For the amount of work, that's crazy strong. Do you work in California? Yeah, we'll work in California. Richard, thank you for the response. You're welcome. Philippe, can we use Stealth program for deceased owners? Absolutely not. I have to have somebody sign a deed to me. There is no way I can have a dead person sign it. I'm not making fun of you, Philippe. No, we cannot work dead owners with that. Deceased owners. And we do not have time to put probate together, obviously. So FOMO works in the biz as well. LOL. Tim, is this webinar recorded so I can download and watch again? So yes, you should be able to come back in the same place that you registered and give it about an hour after this ends. Excuse me, because it has to process the video. However, it's also going to be on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is the same address as our website. All one word, Surplus Funds Riches. That's our channel on YouTube. That is also surplusfundsriches.net is our website. But you can go there and you shouldn't have any issues at all finding it on that channel because it'll be up probably tomorrow morning. Is it possible to work Stealth on our own instead of partner? Yeah, we teach you the whole thing, right? It's just a partnership option. Dan says, thank you. Let me make sure there's no more Q&As. Please don't use Q&As, guys. Is there a drop dead time before the foreclosure date that you won't accept files for sale? 2 weeks. E.g., 2 weeks before. You just, that's, yeah. How much are they paying percentage-wise on foreclosure on average? It depends on which system that you're using, Christopher. And it depends on the property. That's another thing. We're going to show you how you can even maximize that by just taking a quick look at Google Earth, Street View. It'll take you about 30 seconds, no problem. We are going over. Let me make sure there's no more. I think Jeff might have shut it down because it was freezing. I think he did. Hey, guys, if you still have questions, 2 things. Go to surplusfundsriches.net, click that banner. Check out the New Year's Day sale information on there. You can register to reserve your spot. You can also, at that spot, okay, you'll see where you've got downloads for an overview of all the programs that we have and also pricing coming up for the sale. Read those downloads. If you still have questions, give me a call. Cell phone number, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, except holidays. at 704-791-9398. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, 704-791-9398. Have a great night and a Merry Christmas.